Let's make a budget-friendly meal to feed a lot of people. Hello friends, welcome back. Today I'm showing you an easy budget-friendly meal that is absolutely delicious that will feed a lot of people. I was taking a meal to a family that we know, and so I decided to make this meal, and it ended up feeding their family of 9 people, our family of 4, and then the next day I was able to take it to another family, and it also fed us a few leftovers as well. So this feeds a lot of people. You also have the option, if you want to like third this, half this, whatever, to not make quite as much if you just want to try the recipe out. But if you're having tons of people over, this is an awesome meal to make. Another great option is to make this meal and then freeze it to have it for a later time. I love doing that. I have some in the freezer right now from that same meal that I made for all those people. We are going to be making sloppy joes. Sometimes I feel like sloppy joes have like a bad reputation. Maybe not. I grew up not really loving sloppy joes, but this recipe is my mom's recipe and it is to die for. They're actually so incredibly good. So good. So I'm going to show you guys how to make them, and they're super easy, which is awesome. They don't take a lot of time, don't take a lot of prep, minimal effort, and those are the best meals. So I'm going to be showing you guys how we made this meal and then also what sides we added. And really you can customize this and put whatever sides you want with it. If you want to eat it on rolls, you can eat it on rolls. If you wanted to put it on like a big potato, you could do that. If you wanted to, I don't know what, for some reason growing up, I like to eat it with like Ritz crackers. That sounds weird, but it was really good. So you can really do this how you want. If you want to just go bunless or eat it on like a lettuce wrap or whatever you want to do. There are so many options here. It's so good. And like I said, it feeds a lot of people, and it's always good to have a budget-friendly meal in your back pocket when you need to feed lots of people, or you're having family over, or whatever it is. Or, you know, you need to prepare food for a family that just had a baby or a funeral or whatever it might be. This is an awesome go-to meal. So let's get to it.
Okay, so here's what you're gonna need for the sloppy joes. Super simple and easy. So you're gonna need 3 green peppers. So the recipe calls for 3 onions, but my onions are super big. I have part of a leftover one and then this humongous one. I don't even know for sure I'll use all of this. So if you have 3 smaller onions, I probably could use 3, but mine are really big, so I'm not gonna use quite 3. Mustard, red pepper, ketchup, chili powder, 3 jars of chili sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and sugar. And of course, let me show you the last magic ingredient that you have to have, of course. 6 pounds of ground beef. Now, this is where, depending on where you buy your beef from, it may not be quite as budget friendly if you're buying it somewhere where it's a little more expensive. Now, you can definitely find good deals on ground beef. You may be able to find them at Aldi. Sam's Club and Costco usually have ground beef in bulk that is a lot cheaper than buying it, for example, at Walmart. I love Walmart, but I do not get my ground beef from there. It's just not quite as budget friendly. But if you get it from one of those other places, definitely a lot more budget friendly option when you're cooking for a crowd. Another thing, if you're not cooking for quite as many people, you could also half or quarter this. My sister-in-law, they're a family of 4, she quarters it. Or if you want to make it all, if you're not feeding as many people, and freeze what you don't use, you can certainly do that as well, because this is going to feed a lot of people. First thing I'm going to do is take all of my ground beef and stick it into my big pot. You're also going to need a big pot like this. I'm going to start off by sticking this all in the pot, and then we'll go from there. And yes, there's blood everywhere. Okay, so I've got all my ground beef in my pot. So what I'm gonna do next is finely chop my green peppers and onions and throw them in with my ground beef. This one's got a bad spot.
And after I'm done chopping these up, I'm just going to throw all of the chopped peppers in with my raw ground beef.
So I've got my green peppers all cut up, so I'm going to start on my onion now.
So I'm just chopping up my onions into little tiny pieces, just finally chopping them up. I think I ended up using maybe like 1.5 onions. I know the recipe says 3, but I don't like as many onions as maybe some people, so I just added 1.5, and I had really big onions. I didn't have small onions, so that's how many I added. And then I just added these all in with the green peppers to the raw meat. And of course, onions always lead to crying, so I cried. And so I threw these all in with the ground beef, and then I just stirred that all up and just browned it all together until the meat was cooked through. And this is what it looked like once it was all cooked through with the peppers and the onions. Then after the ground beef is cooked, you're going to want to give that a good stir and then add in your sauces, seasoning, spices. So I'm doing 3 jars of this chili sauce. I like the Great Value, cheapest option. So I added 3 jars of that after adding in the chili sauce. Then I added in 1 cup of ketchup to this, and then after that, it calls for 2 teaspoons of red pepper. I think I did 1 because I don't like it as spicy. And then 2 teaspoons of mustard. And then I also did 3 teaspoons of chili powder. And then after the 3 teaspoons of chili powder, it was time to add in the Worcestershire sauce. This is such a hard word for me to say. Try saying it 5 times fast. But I added in 3 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. And then after that, I gave it another good stir and then added in the sugar. So it calls for 4 tablespoons of sugar. I love keeping my sugar in these big containers. It makes it so easy. So 4 tablespoons of sugar, and then after that, gave it another good mix. Now, after you mix it the last time, you're going to want to let everything simmer for about 15 minutes. That kind of incorporates all the flavors and lets all those flavors really come out. And then after that, go ahead and taste it. If you feel like it needs anything else, add it. But usually if we let it simmer for 15-20 minutes, it really brings out those flavors and tastes so good. And now I'm going to show you what we added with this. So I did the Sloppy Joe, some ranch dip. I did do some veggies. I didn't show that here. And then some pasta salad. This is the Great Value pasta salad. So good. And then also did some chips because there were some allergies with the pasta salad. And then we also did some no-bake cookies. These are so good. And some buns as well, of course, for them to eat the Sloppy Joes on. So there you have it, your budget-friendly meal to feed a lot of people. I hope you guys will try this one out. It is absolutely delicious, and our family loves it. I always look forward to when my mom makes it, and now I get to make it as well, and we love doing different sides with it. A lot of times we'll do like baked mac and cheese or chips and veggies. This time I did pasta salad, and this pasta salad from Great Value is awesome. It's cheap. I think it's like $1.76 a box. And it's super delicious. All you need is some water and olive oil, I think, to make the dressing that goes over top of it. It is so good. They add the little packet of dressing, like seasoning mix in there. Super yummy. And then veggies. For the family that I took this to, I did pasta salad, veggies, some chips, and then some no-bake cookies, which was super easy. And the only reason I added in some chips was because there was an allergy with the pasta salad. So I just wanted a few options for their family, but you could certainly do like just this and pasta salad. You don't have to do a lot of other things. If it was helpful, please like and subscribe below. I just know it is so possible to feed our families, even on a budget, delicious and healthy meals. I feel like this is a decent healthy meal. It's one where you're getting all of the components that you need. It's good protein, and it can be really nerve-wracking nowadays to feel like you're feeding your family and making your budget stretch the way you want it to. But I know it's absolutely possible, and I hope to share more meals like this with you guys. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite budget-friendly meal is to feed a crowd. What is your go-to? And I hope to share more like these soon. Have a great week. We'll see you guys soon.